Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about how to install Anaconda for computational biology and chemistry. So first, what is Anaconda? Anaconda is a Python distribution. This means that it contains everything you need to program in Python. So it comes with Python, it comes pre-installed with many Python packages, and these are libraries, essentially other people's code that help you do things like edit images or save zip files. It also comes with a code editor called Spider, and it comes with a package manager called conda. And a package manager is used to update packages as well as download other software. And so Miniconda is a minimal version of Anaconda, which only includes Python and conda, the package manager. So why do we want to use Anaconda or Miniconda when we're doing computational biology or chemistry? Well, the package manager makes installing software very easy, as we'll soon see. And we can also use this Anaconda or Miniconda to create different environments for different projects we have. So often different projects will require a certain version of software, and we can install different versions of software by creating different environments. And that way we can help maintain compatibility. All right, so now we can get started with actually installing Miniconda into our system. So in order to do this, prerequisite, you need to make sure that you have Windows Subsystem for Linux installed. Here's a tutorial on DigitalOcean, which will be linked below in the description. Once you have it installed, once you have Windows Subsystem for Linux installed, then you can follow along here. All right, so after you have Windows Subsystem for Linux installed, go ahead and open up a Linux terminal. And inside the Linux terminal here, I can show you that the version of Ubuntu that I'm using is 18.04, but the version that you're using shouldn't really matter, so 20.04 should also work. Alright, now that we have that, we're going to search for Miniconda on Google, and the first link should be the correct link, and it should look something like this. And if we scroll down, there should be a Linux installer, and we can just use the latest version, Python 3.9. So we right click and we select copy link address. And then now we're going to use wget to install it, to download the installer. And there we go, we wait. So once it's finished downloading, we can see it in our current folder by using ls. Then we give it executable permission, and then we execute it. And then it says welcome to Miniconda, and we basically just follow the instructions to install. Hit enter, then we can scroll down through this disclaimer, but we can just hit Q and say that we accept the license terms. And then the default location should be fine. So just hit enter, and then it will begin the installation process. So here we see that it's asking if we want to initialize, and we do, so we hit yes. And okay. It says modified bashrc, which is our initialization file. So whenever we open our new shell, we'll have conda ready to go. So as it says, for changes to take effect, close and reopen your current shell. So we will do that. So we'll exit, close our shell, open it again. And now we see on the left-hand side it says base. So that is the base conda environment, which we will leave untouched. But now that's how we know that we have conda installed. So if we also type the lowercase conda, we should get the following help message. So now that we have conda installed, we can go ahead and start creating an environment for our bio and chemistry projects. So here, we first will create a new environment. So to do that, we type conda create -n. -n means give it a name, so we create a name for our environment, which we can call, let's say, bio. Now after we give it a name, then we have to say what version of Python we want to use. So Python equals, we'll use 3.9, and then we just hit enter, and then we'll see that it's currently working, and it will figure out what we need to install, and we just hit yes. And as it's installing, we can go here and look. If we search on Google for Bioconda and Biopython, these are two. So Bioconda is a channel, which means that it's a way for people to upload their packages, a place for people to upload their packages to, and we can use this to install a lot of bio packages that or software that we might need. So this is very useful, and we will add this channel to our conda installation in the next step. And we also have Biopython, which is a set of Python tools for computational molecular biology, and this will be extremely useful. So we will also install this in this tutorial. Okay, now that our packages, our new environment has been installed, we can go ahead and activate it by following this message. To activate this environment, use conda activate bio. So if we do that, conda activate bio, we see that the left-hand message in parentheses has changed from base to bio. So that's how we know that we're using the Bioconda environment. Okay. So now that we're going to go ahead and install Bioconda. So here, if we scroll down on the documentation, it says install conda, set up channels. So that's what we want to do. Here we want to use the following channels. So we type conda config -- add channels defaults. So we already have that. Then we're going to add Bioconda to our channels, and one more, which is conda forge. And these three channels will just let us install pretty much the majority of software that we will ever need to use in computational biology and chemistry. And here they just give an example of some software that you can install. So we can see if we do type conda install, let's say Bowtie, then we see that it's working. It's getting ready to install the Bowtie software. And if you're not familiar with Bowtie is a short read aligner, which is useful for after you sequence a genome to align it against a reference genome, to align your reads against a sequence genome. So here we can see that it's getting ready to install Bowtie from the Bioconda channel. So yes. And it let us do its thing. So now that it's installed, we can see whether or not it has been installed correctly by typing Bowtie, and we see that we get this very long help message. So that's how how Conda can make installing software extremely easy and convenient for us. So now that we've set up Bioconda, we can go ahead and install the last piece of software that we'll be using, called Biopython. And Biopython is a Python library that contains a lot of common functions that we'll need to use when doing computational molecular biology. So for example, if we want to take a sequence and turn a DNA sequence into an RNA sequence, or an RNA sequence into a protein, those are all built into Biopython. So in order to install Biopython, we just type pip install Biopython and wait, and we can see it's downloading and installing, and then we've successfully installed Biopython. And so that's it for this tutorial. We'll see you next time.